Properman to me? At the risk of sounding cliche, Properman is kind of a way of life. I mean, the title of the band is Properman, and upon exploring each member of this band of middle-aged, beautiful misfits who aren't really misfits, they fit in just fine. They fit in with their lives, with their families, with their careers, with their hopes, with their dreams. They fit in those worlds, but then they misfit themselves so they can be part of this experience that is Properman. I knew that I was really going to enjoy this project. I don't know that I was prepared for how blown away that I would be by the similarities and the differences of the men who create this music. I love the music already. The reason that we wanted to feature Properman in this context and as part of this project was because the music is already on point. It's really good stuff. And I think that is a really good gateway into the depth, a gateway down to the depth of who these guys really are. I knew there was going to be depth when you listen, when you listen to or you read the lyrics of all of their songs, going all the way back, and then bringing up right to the present, to the stuff that's about to be released. You feel the depth. There's no question. You feel the depth. You feel the depth in the lyrics, of course, and the meanings behind some of the lyrics that are there, that we as the listener can interpret, or those who might know where some of these lyrics spawn from. There's depth there. There's depth in the compositions as well, and that's not to say that some of them aren't just fun and pop. But there's depth there, even in the simplicity, the tracks that show simplicity. I am so grateful to have been part of this project. And in summing up all of these things, it's not just going to be a commercial for Properman themselves and Crown and Thieves, and Jason Park's Customs and all that. That's not what this is, although I believe that it should be shouted from the rooftops. For those who would like to be a part of this, should know about this so they can be a part of this. It's really, really awesome. But it's more than that. And I want to tribute, I want He Changed It to tribute these 5 amazing, non-perfect gentlemen. I think the whole thing about Properman is that, to me, it's that not that it's a quest. And I think there are so many men who are on this quest right now, a quest to be better, a quest to deal and to be present in their situations at home, their personal situations, their situations at work. And then also being a Properman is also letting out some things that are inside. And I look at these 5 gentlemen, and they all have done just that. I look at Justin. I look at his unbridled enthusiasm. I look at what he brings to the table. I mean, you got a guy here who is a light into the world. Just talking to him, I've talked to his students. I've talked to parents of his students who are kids. The parents aren't kids, the students are kids. I mean, every single person. And again, we're not putting anybody on any pedestals here. We're acknowledging effort. We're acknowledging what these guys want to bring to the world. And I love that. Justin is a guy that wants to bring light. There's no question. Enthusiasm, excitement, positivity. And when you watch him smash those drums, it all comes out. Whether he's doing it with a huge smile on his face, a crazed look on his face, even almost even anger and power coming out. He's got a lot of energy that he's giving to the world, and I just appreciate Justin so much. I think about Nori. I think about what he has gone through and how he has chosen to go through what he has. Again, these guys aren't perfect in any way, but it's how they make decisions. And I mean, you look at the lyric in Bloodless, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And I look at how Nori has dealt with adversity. He's learned from mistakes of the past. And of the dozens and dozens of bands he's been a part of, just seeing what he brings to the table with Properman, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And I just appreciate Nori so much. As a husband, as an entrepreneur, as an imperfect man who has learned, as a guy who is making the world around him a better place. And he's grateful in the grind. And I appreciate that about him. I look at Petri and I mean, my goodness, the logic, the stone cold logic that he presents and the common sense parts that he presents are just amazing. And I mean, you get this amazing guitar player who's, Jason calls him a scientist. And I don't know if that's the apt term, but it is certainly the apt personality. And I mean, guys like that need an outlet. And I look at what music is for him in the past, whether it's him and Jason, working on stuff together. And then, into the present, watching him on stage now. And you just kind of see the joy and you see the release happening when you watch him play guitar. Yeah, it's he's an amazing guy, and I just appreciate him. I think about Travis. Full disclosure, I wasn't prepared for where that episode with him was going to go. I really wasn't. I had known some things, of course, and I'd known that he'd been through some adversity when it came to substances and things like that. Had no intention of him completely opening up the wound and kind of telling everything that was there. And I don't know that he did either. But what I do know is that anybody who watches that are going to understand that there is a way out. And redemption can happen. Not just redemption, I don't know if that's the right word, but healing can happen. And I look at the joy that Travis Saunders has for life, and the appreciation and the gratefulness, and just the vigor that he looks at life with. And by the way, I'm really happy for him about that Chicago's getting Connor Bedard. I might date myself with this that reference, but hey, man, he's a huge hockey fan, and his team's about to get a very, very awesome player. So there you go. And then finally, Jason Parks is, I mean, what do you say about Jason Parks? His humbleness and his humility are the things that hit me the hardest, because I watch what he does with the passion that he does it, the things that he builds in collaboration, for sure, but the vision casting that he puts out there and the creations that have been a result, the collaborations and the creations that have been a result of those visions, those things that he loves to do. I just appreciate him so much. And when I look at this band and the house that they play in at this point, I mean, who knows what happens with Properman? They're certainly, the music is quality to the point where if these guys wanted to go on tour, they could go on tour. Will that happen with the lives that they have now that we all have a better idea as to how this band works and why it works and whatnot? I don't know. I don't know if it will or not, because all of these guys seem to have their priorities, or at least they have their priorities in the right place, or they know where their priorities need to be for those times where we as men don't put our priorities in the right place. Sometimes when we know it, all we need to do is become aware again, and we just need to recalibrate a little bit. All 5 of these guys, they are definitely guys who know where their priorities need to be. And I just appreciate the brotherhood so much that these guys have for each other. I'm left changed. And I mean, the whole point of this thing is he changed it, right? This is, it's a movement, it's an app that's being built, a company that's being built. He changed it. The idea that a guy can be at a certain place and can change to go to another place, a better place. And that's what he changed it is all about. And I look at these 5 examples of individual men who all come together like Voltron and combine, but instead of being a gigantic city-saving robot, they become a band that uses their gifts to inspire, to entertain, to cause emotional reaction in others. And you know, when we talk about he changed it, you got these 5 guys who as individuals are either doing the best they can, or they know how to do the best they can when they become aware that they're not doing the best that they can. They're learning, they're creating wisdom. And then, you know, they're understanding that they have this thing inside them that needs to come out. They combine, they put it out there. It helps them, and it helps the audience as well. And I just appreciate that so much. We've talked a lot about a song called Bloodless through this series here. Bloodless is one of the new tracks at the time of this recording. It's in 2023. It's one of the new pieces of music that's about to come out. We actually have some footage. We're going to finish this episode. This is the last episode. This is kind of this ties it up with a nice little bow. That is Properman, the HeCast conversations. And what we're going to do is we're going to finish this episode by putting the raw footage of Properman performing Bloodless for the very first time. We're going to finish this episode by showing that. Now, it is like, I'm an old school music fan. I love bootlegs. I love, bootleg recordings, live recordings of my favorite bands and stuff. And they're not perfect. And this is not a perfect recording. It blasts out the speakers. You can hear it because, I mean, these guys are playing loud. So, you know, we hear some distortion and things like that of the microphones. But that's what this is. This is raw footage. But boy, it was sure powerful watching them perform this song live for the first time. And I've seen them perform it a couple times since, and it's only gotten more powerful. I feel honored that we can show this right now, because this song comes from a very, very personal place and has been accentuated by the rest of the band with their own personal touches. The lyrics to the song: "Don't give it away, give it one more day. Death to what they say, look the other way. Don't give it away, give it one more day. Dead to what they say, look the other way." And that's when Jason proclaims, implores people to look the other way. Right now, there might be some guys out there that are going through something, and that is the exact thing they need to do. They just need to look the other way. Not worry about what other people are saying or doing, but just following that barometer that they feel inside. Don't give it away. Give it one more day. And my God, if there's not if there's not a message that isn't more needed for so many people out there right now, I don't know what is. I want to thank the 5 members of Properman. We didn't even get to their sound guy, Rob. Their sound guy, Rob, is an amazing guy, and I want to do something with Rob here moving forward too. But they credit Rob as being part of the group. Let's mention, shout out to him as well. I want to thank Justin and Nori, Petri, Travis, and of course, Jason. I want to thank him for opening up the Broken Hearts Club in the bowels of the Crown and Thieves Winery. If you haven't been to Crown and Thieves in Kelowna or West Kelowna, British Columbia, and you like wine, or at least you like cool stuff, head on out there and check it out. Make sure you go downstairs to the Speakeasy, to the Broken Hearts Club. Thank him very much. Thank them, the whole staff there, for receiving us the way that they did. We're going to finish off by showing the very first recording, live recording of Bloodless ever. And we just want to say thank you very much for being part of this project. That's another episode of HeCast, the official podcast of He Changed It. My name is Mike Chisholm. Go change something.
They say, look the other way.